Okay, so here are what I would refer to as the bones of previous manicures. So when you're done using your Color Street, I always recommend putting it back in this clear plastic sleeve that it came in and then resealing it. My favorite way to do it is just with like a hair straightener. So it's officially considered a one-time use product because Color Street can't guarantee the quality of the product after you open the seal. However, I'm telling you, I save them all and I reseal them. And then I have a big bag full of a bunch of things that look like this. So these are just leftovers from previous manicures, and a lot of these have retired. So this one is called, was Rose All Day, I think. This one is a retired Valentine's set. This is a retired set that came back called Sakura Festival. And this is a Valentine set from last year. And the name is escaping me, but I am going to open up all of these bones and do a, I guess, pre-Valentine's Day manicure. It's not February yet, but it's feeling Valentine's-y, so I'm going to show you some of my tips and tricks with leftovers. I also have to say sometimes it is like rolling the dice, because if they don't seal up perfectly, or like sometimes I'll do my nails and then I'll forget to put them away right away, and then I'll run back and seal them, and they just might not always seal up just feeling as fresh as they did the first day, but a lot of times they do. So let's just go on this adventure together, you know. I also will sometimes put like 2 sets of leftovers. Like this one I resealed just the other day. I did my daughter's nails, so that's why the packaging is so small. Every time I can tell how many times I've used something by how many times it's been resealed. If that makes sense. So here's a bunch of just extras. So what I did to prep my nails was I took my old polish off, I pushed my cuticles back, I buffed them just slightly, and I haven't trimmed them. I might leave them like this, or I might trim them after I put my nails on. And I put a couple layers of Nail Envy, about 3 layers on there, so that's why they're so shiny and beautiful looking. Okay, let's see. I'm really feeling these together. I really like this one, and I think these are so cute. Let's go stripes or polka dots. Let's go stripes or polka dots. Okay. So, and I really like this one. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 nails. Okay. Life decisions. I think I'm gonna take this one out. There we go. All right, so here's what we're left with. Here's my 5. Okay, so you might notice that they don't look just like they would fit my nails exactly right. A lot of times when you have leftovers, they're gonna be sizes that were left over, like that don't exactly fit your nails right. So there's gonna be a lot of adjusting. A lot of times at this point where I separate it from the backing, I can tell if it's really stiff, like that it's not gonna stick really well, you know. But I can tell right now that it's gonna last decently, I think. Okay, let me show you a trick. I'm gonna cut it in the middle. In Jesus' name, I'm gonna cut it in the middle. Some trick. I'm going to cut it in the middle. There we are. Okay. This is less like harsh on the edges of your nails, and also I just put the Nail Envy on, so I don't want to put just a ton of pressure on my thumb right now. All right, so here is where it gets a little bit tricky. Sometimes if it's dried out just the tiniest bit on the edges is where it will want to ripple. So what you really want to do is make sure you push super good on the edges, make sure it gets a really, really good bond. My professional opinion is that it's best to wait to let, like if you put a nail strengthener or something on before you apply nails. However, if you can hit just like the absolute sweet spot where your, like my Nail Envy that I put on is not all the way dried, it's just like still just barely, like it's tacky, so if I were to like press down on it, it would leave a fingerprint right now. But in some ways it almost acts like a glue, kind of, that helps the strip to stick to your nail if it's just the tiniest bit dried out. So this like is a really, really old strip. It's from Rose All Day. I was in the catalog when I first started selling, like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. So it's an older nail strip, and it's been opened on several occasions. So, you know, you just got to be gracious to her. She's been through a lot. So having your nails a little bit wet with the nail strengthener underneath is helpful, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So, you know, take that as you will. So I'm doing right now is I'm just using this cuticle clipper to clip the edges off, so like it's not a perfect edge at the tip. And I'm just trying not to be in a rush. I'm gonna fold it over the best I can over the tip of the nail, which really helps. Instead of just having like a flat seal, it kind of will seal over the tip of the nail, which can strengthen your manicure, keep it from chipping a lot. And then when I file, I'll kind of file under the nail. But I also just really want it to make a good bond. These wooden cuticle sticks are like maybe my favorite tool in the world, and I know that a lot of times I'll say Color Street does not need any tools or any heat, which is so true. It does not require any tools. You could do all of this with your thumbnail. I've just found, like, for me it's easier sometimes to use stuff, and so I just do. Okay, this is called Check Me Out. This is a set from our Valentine's line from last year, and I'm pretty sure I used this Valentine's Day last year. And it was so like popular and loved, y'all, that they made it a permanent part of our collection. So it was not, you know, Valentine's, like our Valentine's Day release sets that are out right now are not permanent. They're not going to be available on the website forever. They will retire and then not return. But people were just like losing their minds over this set so much that they just made it a permanent. And can't you tell why? Like, oh, it's so pretty. Okay. I feel like I'm in like arts and crafts class right now. So this one I can feel is just the tiniest bit stiff. Not so bad that I think it's not gonna work, but I can tell that it's not just like a spring chicken set. There are a couple other things that you can do if you find that your nail strip is brittle. A lot of times for me, if it's just like a couple strips and I've already used them several times, and sometimes I just will let them go on and be with the Lord, you know, like it's not worth it to me to fuss with them. But every now and then there's like a special set or a special one that I just can't bear to let go. So since Color Street is real nail polish, it is temperature sensitive. And so one of the things you can do is make sure that it's really, really warm. That will help it be more pliable. In fact, I was opening up brand new sets when I was in Haiti doing nails for Night to Shine. And in Haiti, it's like really hot, obviously. And I was like, what is wrong with these nails? Why are they so like gooey almost? And it's just because temperature, humidity makes a difference. So You could try putting them on right after like a bath or something when your body is really warm. I've heard of people like hitting them with a blow dryer before they put them on if they're kind of tacky, or if they're kind of like losing their stickiness. My mother told me that she put on a set, so she wears salon nails a lot, and then we'll put these on top of her nails as they grow out between fills, and she said one of them had like a little bit of a ripple. If you can see, it's wanting to ripple right here. Had a little bit of a ripple, and she noticed the next morning and rubbed it on her really, really hot cup of coffee, like the outside of her coffee cup, and it smoothed it out. I'm feeling like this one is going to have a little bit of a ripple right here. So I'll tell you something that I've done for that before. Does require a little bit of finesse, but it works. Once these dry, you can get regular fingernail polish remover, not like acetone or anything, super strong. And on a Q-tip, just put a drop like right here on the edges where it wants to ripple, where it doesn't fit all the way, and it kind of will rehydrate it. And then I'll take probably a rubber cuticle pusher like this and push it down, and it will smooth it out and it will readhere. The struggle or the danger with that is it can, it's remover, so obviously it like weakens that nail polish, and if you rub on it too much, it will rub off. It will remove it. So you have to be kind of careful with that. But there are a couple different things. Okay, obviously I cannot remember the name of this set, but this one is way too big for my nail. That's how it goes with these leftover packages. It just kind of feels like an adventure. Oh, for example, I ripped this one. And, okay, thank goodness. As I'm saying it's an adventure, I have an extra one. Okay, I did not do a good job cutting that one, but it's okay. I was about to have pointer or birdie fingers that did not match. I'm trying my best to push it down all the way on the nail and then make the perforation once I feel like it's already bonded, because I don't want it to break off more than what I want it to break off. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes I feel like with Color Street, it is so much easier to put on time, money-wise. It lasts as long as salon nails, but like when you go to the salon, you're not really thinking about it. Like, you're not looking and investigating and criticizing the nails as much as you would if you were doing it yourself. It's like if you paint a room in your house and somebody comes in and they're like, oh my gosh, I love this color, you did such a great job painting it, and you're like, yeah, well, but over here in the corner behind the lamp, I really messed up, like you kind of will notice imperfections a little bit more. So even if it doesn't come off just exactly perfect sometimes, or there's one little problem, I try to remind myself, like, people are not with a critical eye judging your nails quite as much as you are judging them. Okay, so you see there is like a ton of extra on the edge. It drives me nuts, but I'm just going to leave it there, because what I want is for my nail to have a chance to cure, which is the fancy Color Street word for kind of like dry down a little bit, and then I'll go and file it off and the edges will be really clean. All right, I'm going to try, sometimes you can get, oh yeah, look at that. You can get one side perfect. So then I really only am going to have to adjust and cut off the excess on this side. So that can save a little bit of work on my part sometimes. So I'm going to make sure it gets a really, really good bond. You can tell that this one has dried out a little bit just by the way that it breaks. I don't know if you can perceive that in the video, but it's a little bit more brittle. I really like to use these cuticle clippers to trim sometimes right here by the edges, just because it is so precise. I'm not like breaking anything off, I'm just making a cut, which I feel like makes a big difference. I would say, I would say the biggest kind of mistake or problem I see people make when they put their nails on is that they don't get it exactly right back here by the cuticle and the proximal fold area. Because if it gets on the skin at all, it will lift. So all I can say is just push, 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 and make sure it's just exactly right on the nail. And on the nail only. Okay. So I'm going to do pointer finger and then thumb with this one. So these two are Rose All Day, I believe. They came with the same. Two different patterns in the same set. This one feels a little bit dry as well. Let's just see how it goes. So you always kind of have to be a little bit flexible when you open these up. So just to reiterate, Color Street says these are a one-time use product. Melissa says if you seal them up right, you can usually use them for a lot longer. This particular set that I'm doing right now is at least a year old, and has been opened on 2 different occasions before now. So they come by their brittleness honestly, okay? But I have done, like this year I did my Halloween nails from a leftover set from last year, just because, you know, you can't wear like skulls year round, or at least I don't. And so I used them last Halloween, and then I just resealed them, and when I opened them up again this Halloween, they were like brand new. I mean, like as if I had never used them. So every leftover is not going to feel brittle. You can see right here, there's just the tiniest bit. It really helps too if you push your cuticles. I gotta stop saying that. Peripheral fold, this area right here that everyone calls a cuticle. If you are pushing those back, it is going to make it a lot easier to make this bond right here if there's just a clean line of demarcation between your nail and your skin. Let's see, maybe I can push down. There we go. Sorry if my video is getting blurry. It is hard for me to do my nails and talk and to make sure I'm in focus all at the same time. Okay, this one is just the tiniest bit right here wanting to ripple. I do think that the shape of your nail makes a difference too, because this one of my nails is it's like the most rounded, the least flat, most rounded, and it always wants to make ripples on the side. So my recommendation for ripples is make sure it's firm on the side and then push outward like this to keep the ripples at bay. Okay, there's obviously a bunch of excess at the top of this one, and I'm just going to fold it over. And just trust the Lord with it. I'll come back at the end, and when I file it, hopefully it will make a smooth, clean edge. All right, now here's my last one. If you're still with me, thanks for watching this video. Clear coat off the top, separate from the white backing. This one's going to be too big too, so I'm going to try and make it fit on one side. pretty good. I really like this color. So I am all about like moisturizing and stuff, but tonight I'm gonna have to skip that because I want my nails to be dry and oil free tonight so that they can really dry down well. Tomorrow I can put cuticle oil on them or lotion, but tonight I'm just going to leave them clean and dry. It's also bedtime here, so this is my favorite time to do my nails because now I have all night. Although they don't need to dry like regular polish would, it does harden up the longer the more amount of time that goes by. I say usually an hour is good where they're like hard, but you can put them on and then be good to go right away as long as you're not washing dishes or picking a sticker up off the floor, you know, something really rough with your hands. Okay, so I'm pushing these edges down. I'm gonna give them like maybe 30 minutes to really get a good seal and a good bond, and then I'll go back and file the edges. And I'm look how Valentine's-y I am. Okay, tell me, do you love it or do you hate it? Because I know this is gonna get some mixed emotions. I'm gonna give them a little second just to settle and rest, and then file them, and they'll be good, perfect edges. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, so I noticed especially on this, do you see there's a couple ripples right there? I think there's a couple ripples right there and on that side. So I'm gonna try something. This is Mineral Fusion inside a little scrubby pot thing, and I'm just gonna dip my orange stick in so it gets it just like the tiniest bit wet, and then I feel like I'm painting. Just gonna paint that on. Give it a second to soak, and then I don't want to do just a ton of rubbing because it's nail polish remover, so it's gonna remove it if I'm too rough. So I'm just kind of like pressing down on it. When you get it a little bit wet with nail polish remover, what it does is it just kind of rehydrates it. Look at that. Then you're able to press it down. It is good as new, y'all. Okay. I'm gonna try on this side because that is a bigger one. Look at that. It is like magic. Yes. Perfectly smooth. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good.